Okay.
You're gonna tap.
Let me just do the whole thing here then.
Say hi to Jan.
I'll say hi. Don't prompt me. Don't prompt me, Daddy. I can do this. No, you're not having a bad dream. This is actually happening, kids.
It's Mr. Ed Ferrero.
Now this is the insanity that when the three of us would drive. Six cheeks. What did we call that trip? Six cheeks to Phoenix.
Right.
Some of this comes when you have a little more maturity in life.
16.
Yeah, six cheeks. It's better than that gray thing. Isn't there a movie, 57 Shades of Gray? Or with us, it would have been 3 shades. That's it. That's all you get. Let's see if anyone's going to type anything in here.
There's Jan. Hi, Jan. Jones. Hi, Nancy Jones.
Yeah. And then there's oops, namaste, Jen. Okay. Yeah.
Oops, namaste.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a local person here.
Fred namaste.
Yeah.
And his sister. I gotta go.
You do whatever you have to do.
Now must want to stay. Some else want to go.
Go. There you go. All right. So what should we talk about? Dearly beloved, we're all gathered here together. So just so you know, Gary is not going to be as pixelated as he was 2 weeks ago. We're back to the original camera. So that's just the way it is. That other camera will never use it again.
The tech advisor is here.
The tech advisor is here. That's right. Flew in with the original camera. Boy, this is a real quiet peanut gallery. They don't have much to say. Oh, there's a hi Ed, an HE short. Hello, Jan.
How?
And Hal.
How?
That's right. And his brother, Pal.
No how.
No how.
Any chance.
So, Gary, tell me, this is going to be kind of a podcast interview.
All right.
So, at what point in this afternoon do you think you lost total control of this meditation YouTube video?
When I woke up and I already had a premonition dream that it was just going to be filled with chaos, and lo and behold, it's happened.
Unidentified walking objects?
Yes, Ed.
UWOs? Much better than why fly?
UWOs.
I wish we had the tilt pan remote so we could, like I do with the other thing,
Right.
I could get the peanut. So you actually probably want to start this, don't you?
What time is it?
It's 6 o'clock.
Sure. Let's start.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. So has anyone else joined, or we're really at maximum here?
Right.
Oh, there's Jim.
How?
How, Jim?
How? No how? Need chance.
I feel like Ed McMahon.
Oh, okay. You're right.
That's right. We don't have the band here.
Here's Johnny.
Here's Gary.
Here's Johnny.
Let me uncouple the mic so I don't hurt myself. Okay.
Well, my pillow's already hot.
Whatever turns you on.
Gee. That's definitely cheeky.
That's right. 6 cheeks to Phoenix. I'm going to go back and rename all those photos.
6 cheeks to Phoenix. Ba-ba. Good evening, my fine feathered friends. We have the Peanut Gallery with us tonight, which is wonderful. Wonderful. So, as you all know, our work is around the mystery and the magic of the star tetrahedron. the essence of divine power, divine love in a unified field of consciousness and light that when it is then formulated around, front, back, up, down, it then opens the sacred doorway within the middle from out of which source spirit arises forth as the living breath. That living breath is exactly what we wanted to talk about tonight, which is love, because that is the emanation that arises forth. It was the very beginning of the creation of the universe. That source within the void asks itself, what am I? And then with that question, then begin to emanate these qualities of love that said, now this is what I love of what I am. And then we being the essence of that emanation, we then have the possibilities and the capabilities of refining power and love into self-love, which allows us then to be the open doorway. When I first moved to Carmel, I had been meditating for a couple of years. I was in Fort Collins, Colorado, and then moved to Grand Junction. I was in real estate construction, and after meditation for a couple of years, I sold my business and then moved to Carmel. And so I was somewhat of a neophyte, just kind of learning about spirituality. My practice was quite dedicated and disciplined. And when I got to Carmel, I met Dori D'Angelo, who they named the Angel Lady of Carmel. And it was quite a blessing to meet her. She looked like an angel. She was probably all of 5 foot, maybe 1 or 2, always dressed in these beautiful pastel gowns, a beautiful shock of white, beautiful light hair, and just glowed like an angel. And so I began to work with Dori D'Angelo and her work with the angels. And every Friday we had our angel gathering down at the Boy Scout house in Carmel, California. And there was usually 20, 30, sometimes 40 of us people that would show up. And we would sit in a circle and then we would tell angel stories. What was the angel magic that happened to you, for you, that you were involved in over the last week? And really some very beautiful and amazing things came out. One of the most exciting things that happened was we were in our class, probably, I suppose, 35, 36 people there. And all of a sudden the back door opened and in walked 3 bikers, big looking bikers, the red chains and leather jackets. And all of us, we kind of, just a little twinge of fear. But immediately, before you could blink an eyebrow, Dori was up and walking towards those 3 boys. And you could see this beautiful pink energy of love starting to emanate from her, just like a cloud of peace and joy. And she walked up to the biggest biker and she said, "Welcome, boys. It's so wonderful to have you." And just like 3 little boys, just 3 little children, they just melted. And they said, "Oh, Dori, it's so wonderful to be here. We've heard about you." And so that was one of my first experiences with really understanding what is the power of love. It literally melted that which appeared to be dark, that which appeared to be threatening. But in fact, it just melted away in the essence of love. We were then later doing a workshop up in Marin, California. And after the workshop, I'd been working with Dori for probably a year by that time. And she came to me and she said, "Gary, do you want to know the secret?" Well, of course, I'd been looking for the secret all my life. Since I'd begun my spiritual practice, I wanted the secret. What's the secret to high spirituality? And she said, "When I do a lecture or give a talk," she said, "my words keep people's minds occupied as my love reaches out and heals them. And I knew in that moment that that was the secret. I saw it at work within her. It resonated so deeply and profoundly within me that I absolutely knew that this was the secret to really life and to being a healer, as she was such a great healer. And so it was after that that as I continued my spiritual discovery that I began to really explore how was it that Jesus was able to heal. And as I then worked with the star tetrahedron and the work of opening the sacred doorway, I realized that it's from out of the doorway that the breath of spirit, which is love, arises forth. And so when Jesus was then seeing someone, just like Dory saw the bikers who were tough and threatening and dark looking, she simply walked up and emanated the feeling of love, and they were transformed. And I then knew that this is exactly what Jesus was able to do, what all great healers are able to do. They simply emanate such a profound feeling of love because love is the very source essence of the universe. In the original creation of the universe, Source asked, "What am I?" And that I am, it was then, what can I exude out from me that is the emanation of the divine and sacred being I am? And so the whole universe is but a manifestation of love. And then we, as then human beings, learning about the good, the bad, the light, the dark, on an evolutionary journey of free will, which is so exciting because if you can imagine Source emanating, what am I? What can I be? In the very beginning of creation, Source always knew what Source was going to create. It was like always knowing what tomorrow's newspaper is going to be before it's even tomorrow. So when you always know what tomorrow is going to be, it's kind of boring. Like, yeah, I know what kind of omelet I'm going to have tomorrow already. I know what kind of people I'm going to be meeting. There's no interest. There's no excitement. And so it was Source then deciding, well, I'm now going to be able to really hide myself within form as a human family. And that's exactly, you see, what happened with free will. And with that, you see, we have the story of Adam and Eve, that in the Garden of Eden, where everything was love and they were living in love, they were acting from love every moment. But then it was Eve, the feminine principle, that ate of the apple of knowledge. And when she ate of the apple of knowledge, it literally was then a movement away from simply being love to having choices. And it was really quite a special time. It wasn't a fall from grace. It was the ability to finally weave our way from the fall, so to speak, back into our own divinity, where we could then also be the emanation of love. And then through free will, create something new and different every day that would be exciting, that would be fun, that would be imaginative. And so, as we now are awakening into that possibility at this time on the planet, we're now moving to the point where we're learning to so love ourselves that when we love ourselves, we're no longer needing to make things different out there. We're no longer trying to manipulate or control or change things. Just as Dory showed me, when you simply emanate love, it simply finds what everything exists in creation already is, which is also love. It may have a mask of darkness or a mask of, what we might call evil, which is just live spelled backwards. But in fact, it is an original emanation of Source, which is love. The mask is simply hiding that which is the vibration of love. And this is exactly what Dory was able to do. With the emanation of love, she was weaving through the masks of their separation, their identity that said we are not at one with the love of the universe. And as that then vibrated what was the original essence within them, they felt that. And in the feeling of that, then there was the transformation. And so this is exactly what Jesus was able to do in all of his healing work, simply emanating such a profound feeling of love. And it was no longer simply the love of the man, because that individual had honed and refined the Christ consciousness, the star tetrahedron. It was the emanation of source eternal from inside out. And when that doorway opens within us, just as you see pictures of Jesus with that amazing light that emanates out from the heart chakra area, that's the energy of source coming out. That Jesus is now one with the Father, Spirit, and as that golden liquid love comes out, it simply moves through all creation with effortless ease, and it weaves into that which appears separate, and it touches that which is the unity of all creation, which is simply source and light. And as it vibrates it, those individuals, they then feel it within themselves. And so Jesus, or any great healer, including Dory, wasn't trying to change people, wasn't trying to make them different, wasn't going out there with an agenda. I've got to make the world different. I've got to change people. That becomes a push. It was simply embracing with such profound love and such wholeness, that the love that was then embracing that which she held in her consciousness, in her heart, it felt that. And then from inside out, it simply arose forth into its wholeness. So this is the great opportunity, you see, that we have in our work, because we have been gifted free will. And we see that with free will, where has humanity come to? Well, a point of crisis, we might say. But this point of crisis that we see happening in the world, it's not really an error. There's nothing wrong with it. It's simply been the learning, the growing, the unfolding of consciousness by learning through error, through mistakes, not sin, simply mistake. I mistook that. It was a mistake in my consciousness. And now, because I've learned that when I hurt or harm another, in some lifetime, I'll probably receive that back, I then realize that I mistook or mistake that. I will now love and I will support all of life. And so this is then free will, learning through error, through mistakes, how to finally become whole and complete. And so that's where we are now in this beautiful revelation of our lives. We can so powerfully, which is the divine masculine, simply hold our attention focused so clearly on loving ourselves, loving all that we are, that then creates this beautiful form of consciousness and light that is just like an atom, that it spins so rapidly that the very center of an atom, there's the dark hole, source. From out of it, sources are rising forth, and it keeps the atom moving. The atom is then living. And in the same way, when we have the doorway open within us, then the living oneness of source is not only edifying us profoundly, changing all of the cells and tissues of your own body, literally changing your consciousness to be more attuned to the divine. It then emanates out in such a peaceful way and simply automatically changes the world. It's why that other image is so beautiful in the Bible, where Jesus is simply walking through the marketplace, and a woman, she touches the hem of the robe of Christ. Well, what does that mean? It means she simply came into resonance, into periphery of his auric field. She touched the hem of his robe, his aura. And that emanation was so radiant, just like sunlight, so strong and so powerful, she was immediately healed and changed. Not because Jesus was trying to do it, it was simply a byproduct of that emanation. It's much like the physical sun. It simply shines radiantly. It doesn't try and grow the flowers. It doesn't try and make the grass green. It's simply in its eminence, in that which it is, which is a magnificent radiance of love, a truly great doorway of love from source. It then feeds and nourishes the whole planet. And then the planet responds by coming forth with more life abundant, the flowers, the fruits, the life, the giving of life within us so that we can grow into our own creatorship, truly becoming the sons and the daughters of light within ourselves. So this is really the great and magnificent place we're on. The star tetrahedron is one of the major parts of that for us who are on this great spiritual pathway, because it is a symbol that we have learned to so love ourselves that we have our attention focused. It's attentive upon loving that which I am, not needing or wanting or desiring, but knowing in the divine love that I am, this emanates so easily and radiantly from me. It's creating source, it's creating relationships, it's creating joy all around me, it's creating abundance. It's a byproduct of that which is the emanation of the divine within. It's just like in the very beginning of the creation of the universe, source simply emanated, and the whole cosmos is simply that revelation in form of that which is the emanation of love of the divine. So we are then the byproduct of that from out of free will, really moving into our divine creatorship. So one of the things that really helps us kind of refine and be conscious, if you will, of this open doorway is our breath work. When we're doing our breath work, we literally feel with the in-breath that there's this emanation of living light from the open doorway. It's the energy of source love emanating up and out. And as it then emanates up and out, we then are able then to simply allow that to flow from us as living light. It hones, edifies, refines the physical body. It changes our consciousness. It then simply flows out into the world and brings peace on earth. So when we do our breath work, of course, we are breathing in quite deeply with the deep belly breathing, but more importantly, you see, we're feeling from the open doorway the breath of spirit arising forth. We hold for a couple of counts, and then as we simply emanate, we allow this living light to flow from us. So let's go ahead and do about 5 minutes of breath work. We like to have the spine nice and straight. The spine, of course, is the golden rod of initiation. We can imagine a string at the top of the head gently pulling us up. And with each in-breath, there's the breath of spirit arising from the open doorway within the heart. And with a gentle exhale, light flowing through every tissue, and like sunlight flowing out into the world. I am the light. Feel the spirit arising from the open doorway. Just as the physical sun shines, I am the light. Breathing deeply. Allowing the breath of life to flow from the open doorway. Breathing in deeply. The flow of spirit from the open doorway. I am the light. And another deep breath or two. And slowly coming back into the now. The sacred form of the star tetrahedron, which we call the Christ star, often seen as the Star of David. It's again a symbol of divine power, which is attention and focus, and then divine feminine, which is profound love. I so powerfully love and accept that which I am. I reveal the divinity of that which I am. And then as the doorway is then open within the heart, then source is arising forth from inside out. I am the emanation of the divine. So I'm going to take you through the formulation of the star tetrahedron, and then we will sit together for 35 minutes in profound and deep meditation. So let's go ahead and close the eyes and feel the body relaxing. We can be aware of the breath, With each breath, the body is relaxing and letting go. Breath is life. Slow, deep breathing. Then we bring our attention between the eyebrows, imagining we can draw a line straight back to the approximate center point of the head, the seat of the soul. And there, the light, the golden light of the soul shining brightly like the sun. I am the light. Holding attention here, light increasing. The focusing of the mind. We bring our attention to the heart chakra at the sternum, and we imagine, we illuminate the star tetrahedron with the upper triangulation, divine masculine, the lower triangulation of divine love. It moves in front and back, to the sides and all around. And as it moves rapidly, it opens the sacred doorway within the heart. And arising forth is the breath of spirit, pure living light. It flows to every cell and tissue, is the divine emanation of love and peace that flows out into the world. I bring light to earth. Let's sit quietly together in the living light, shining brightly from the open doorway within the heart. I am the light. And welcome back. Well, that was absolutely lovely, my friends. Thank you. It's always such a joy to get together and meditate. Just like another level of light. So it was wonderful to have you with us. Enjoy the spring, summertime, and we will see you all quite soon. Namaste.